Hello everyone, in this video I will show you how you can make a advanced automatic hand sanitizer dispenser. Now I know you may be thinking like why I am saying advanced, because it has some advanced features in it. Now what kind of advanced features? So it's like a normal automatic hand sanitizer where we have a sensor here which basically measures the distance. Okay, but the advanced feature here is like in the back side of this sanitizer we have two knobs. Okay, so basically these are potentiometers. Now using these two knobs you can control two things. The first thing is you can control the distance, so the threshold distance, so at which distance it will detect your hand. So using this potentiometer you can do that, and there is another potentiometer using which we can actually control the amount of sanitizer it's going to pump out, okay, when it will detect your hand. So also you can say the speed of this hand sanitizer dispenser. Okay, so let me show you how it works. So basically here is the switch to turn it on. So you need to, so and one another thing is that it runs on 5 volts, so you can run it on your power bank or any simple wall adapter. Okay, also you can attach batteries with it if you want. Now you need to turn this thing on using the switch. So now if you see, as you can see, so it works just fine. Now let's say the amount. So if you see again, the amount is quite, I would say, high here. Now let's say I want to just decrease the amount. What I will need to do is I need to use this knob. So I will just move this knob a little bit, and now if I go here, okay, so I have decreased it quite a lot. That's why it's not pumping out any sanitizer. Now if I just increase it a little bit, you will see, as you can see, it's working just fine. And now it is pumping out a less amount of sanitizer. Okay, so in this way you can control it, and also you can control the distance. So for now, if you see, if my hand is like in this distance, it is not detecting my hand. But now if I just change, just remove the knob, as you now if I just put my hand here, okay, so I need to increase it a little bit. Now as you can see, it is now detecting the hand also, even the, so this is how it's working. Now for this experiment I am using water here, but it's also the same for the sanitizer. Now let's see how you can build something like this. Okay, so to build this device we need few components. So the first thing we need is we need a place to hold our sanitizer. So here I am using this small jar to contain it. So it's a 800 ml jar, and you can use different size containers too. So here I'm going to use this one. Okay, so the next thing we need is just Arduino to control everything. Now you can use other Arduinos like Arduino Uno, or you can use that, but I prefer Nano because it's quite smaller and it will fit just fine. Now next we need an ultrasonic sensor so that we can detect our hand. Now again you can use IR sensor, but I prefer ultrasonic sensor because here you can adjust the distance quite well in through the coding. Next we need a pump which will pump out the sanitizer. Now here I am using a 5 volt cheap pump, but you can use different variation of it also. Next, to turn the pump on and off we need a relay. Now you may think that as it is a 5 volt pump, your Arduino can directly control it, but it doesn't happen all the times, because like the current rating of the some few of the pumps are quite higher than so Arduino is not enough powerful to turn it on and off. So that's why we need a relay so that it can turn the pump on and off well. Okay, and then we need few small components like maybe a switch to turn it on and off, and also I am going to use two of these potentiometers. Now I am going to use one potentiometer to adjust the distance, so the threshold distance, so the distance between the sensor and your hand, and another potentiometer I will use to control the speed, so for how long the sanitizer the pump will pump out the sanitizer. Okay, another thing we need is just this 5 mm pipe, okay, which we will connect with this pump. Through this pipe the pump will pump out the sanitizer. And finally, another thing which is not obviously compulsory is like after putting all the things above this, I have 3D printed a cover which looks something like this. Again, it is not compulsory. I have 3D printed it, but in your case, you may use it or even you can make it with some cardboard also. So here I will put all the electronics. These two holes are for this ultrasonic sensor, and from here the sanitizer will come out. Okay, and I will put this thing above this, something like this. Okay, and these two things are just to so that I can just screw it with it. Okay, something like this. Now again, this is not mandatory to use, but if you need the STL file to 3D print it, you can just comment down. And the final thing we need is this. We need the power supply. So in my case, I will use a wall adapter, and I am going to use this USB this micro this USB wire. Okay, so basically I will plug this thing in the wall adapter, 5-volt wall adapter, and then I will get 5 volts from here, and I will just give the 5 volt to all the components, because all the components here work in 5 volts, so there is no issue. But if you are using a pump of 12 volts, in that case you have to take care of that. So this is all the things we need to build this thing. Okay, so here I have connected everything, and this is how it looks like. Now I know it's quite messy because it's just a prototype, so I'm just testing it here in this way. Now the first thing is the power supply. Now like I said, I am going to use a 5-volt supply, which I am basically using a USB cable like this, and I am going to insert this in one of these wall adapters. It gives 5 volts. Okay, now the main advantage will be that I can use it with power banks too and small power supplies too. Okay, but you can use 12 volt also. Now in case of if you are using 5 volt, in that case you can power every component in the whole thing with that 5 volt. So using that 5 volt, you can power up this ultrasonic sensor. There is a relay, there is a pump, there is a buzzer, and LEDs. You can power everything with that 5 volt easily. But if you are using 12 volts, okay, in that case what you need to do, you need to give that 12 volts to Arduino V-in. Okay, because Arduino V-in pin mainly supports. So here I'm using Arduino Nano, but it's same for the Nano Arduino. In the Arduino V-in pin, it supports from 7 volt to 12 volts. So you can give it 12 volts, and then in Arduino there is a 5 volt pin. So from that 5 volt pin you can take the output and give to all these components. Okay, so if you are using 12 volt, you do that. But in my case I am using 5 volts. So in case of 5 volts, you can give 5 volts to all the components, but there is a problem. If you give 5 volts to Arduino through V-in pin, it will not work properly, because Arduino V-in pin required from 7 volt to 12 volts. Okay, so what I did here, I took the 5 volts from the supply. Here I am using LM6009, which is a boost converter. So I am converting that 5 volt to 7 volts, and then I am giving it to Arduino. And for the remaining parts, I am using that 5 volt. I mean the from power supply is 5 volt. Okay, so I am giving 5 volt to everything, but for the Arduino only I am giving 7 volts, and I am converting the 5 volt to 7 volt using this module, which is a XL6009. Okay, so it's a very simple module. You can search online and you will get it. But again, you can use 12 volt also. In that case it will be much easier to use. Okay, this is all about the power supply. So now we have a 5 volt 5 volt positive 5 volt positive pin, and there is a ground pin. Now how everything is connected, let's see. So at first, here is the ultrasonic sensor I have connected. Okay, now if you know how ultrasonic sensor looks like, this is how it looks like. There are 4 pins: VCC, trigger, echo, and ground. So connect the VCC pin with 5 volts, connect the ground pin with ground, and the trigger echo you can connect with any pin in Arduino. So I have connected it to the pin number 4 and 5 in Arduino, trigger to pin number 4, and the echo to pin number 5. So this is how you connect this thing with Arduino. Now then we have the pump. Okay, so in case of pump, there are two wires in the pump. One is the red wire, one is the black wire. So red one is 5 volts and the black wire is ground. Now like I said, you cannot power this pump directly from Arduino because it requires more current, so you need a relay to power this up. Now in a relay, if you see, there are 3 pins here which you have to power the relay. These 3 pins, in between these 3 pins there is a VCC ground. So connect the VCC with 5, connect the ground with ground, and there is an input pin. Connect this input pin with any of the digital pins in Arduino. So in my case I will connect it to maybe pin number 6. Okay, and there are 3 outputs here. Now in the outputs, there is two pins which are normally connected. Okay, now so in my case these two pins are the pins, so the left one and the middle one are normally connected, and these two are normally disconnected, the right one and the middle one. So what we have to do, we have to give 5 volts to the middle pin, so the main power supply 5 volts to the middle pin, and then we will connect the red wire of this pump to the rightmost pin. Okay, so whenever we will turn this relay on, okay, that relay will connect these two pins, the right one and the middle one, and our pump will get power. Okay, and it will pump out the sanitizer. So this is how you will connect your Arduino to this relay and this relay to this pump. So this is how you can connect it. Okay, maybe some pumps work with Arduino directly, if the required current is less, but I recommend to use a relay. Okay, in this case. Now this is how you connect a relay. Now for the buzzer, if you see there is a buzzer inside this is just to, like, it will whenever it will pump out the sanitizer, it will just beep. And same for the LEDs. Okay, so whenever it will pump out the water, the LEDs will blink. Not blink, it they will just show up. Now here the connection is easy. For the LEDs, connect the ground with the ground of the power supply, and same for the buzzer. Now for the positive one, connect the positive of the LED with a resistor. In my case 100 ohm resistor I have used, so connect with a resistor and then connect it with any of the pins in Arduino. In my case I have connected with pin number 7. And for the buzzer, if it's a 2-pin buzzer, connect the negative with the ground and the positive with Arduino. It's a 3-pin buzzer, connect the negative with the ground, positive with the 5 volts, and the signal pin to the Arduino. So in Arduino you can use a library tone and you can just beep it. It's simple. And finally we have this potentiometers, okay, using which we will adjust the distance and the speed. I mean the like how much time it will pump out the sanitizer. Now if you don't know how to use a potentiometer with Arduino, you can watch a video in my channel. The link will be in the description. There I have told you how you can use one of these things with Arduino, but again I am just saying it here. So there are 3 pins here, as you can see. There are 2 outer side pins, 1 middle pin. So connect one outer side pin with 5 volts, one outer side pin with ground, and connect the middle pin with Arduino, any of the analog pins. So what will happen, it is a variable resistor, so whenever you will use the knob, it will change its resistance, and the middle pin will give some variable voltage. So our Arduino will take the variable voltage, and then it will get the analog value. So the value will be from 0 to 1, 0 to 3. Now using that value, you will control the speed and everything else. So this is how everything works. So it will detect it from the sensor, then Arduino will turn on the relay will turn on this thing, and then it will pump out the water. Also in the same time it is going to beep using this buzzer, and also is going to glow this LED. Okay, and using this potentiometers these 2 potentiometers we can control the distance and the amount of time for which the sanitizer will come out. Okay, so this is how everything will work. Okay, now let's talk about the code which we have to upload in our Arduino. So this is how the code looks like. You will get the code in the GitHub repository, so I will put the link in the description. So the first thing is that here we are importing the ultrasonic library, okay, because we need to use the ultrasonic sensor. Secondly, we are initializing the object here. So here is the 4 and 5. Now here 4 and 5 is the pin number. Like I said, I am using the pin number 4, digital pin number 4 as trigger pin, and digital pin number 5 as the echo pin. That's why I have written here 4,5. Okay, and the sequence is very important here. So if so at first there will be the trigger pin, then the echo pin. Okay, then here I have initialized few variables. Now the port 1 is the potentiometer 1, and that is connected to analog pin number 2, and port 2 is the potentiometer 2, which is connected to analog pin number 3. Now the piezo pin is for the buzzer pin, which is digital 8, and now 3 variables just for the future processing. Now in the setup I have just set 2 pins as the output, pin number 6 and pin number 7. Now pin number 6 is for the relay, which will turn on the pump, and pin number 7 is for the LED. So you need to initialize them as output, because we don't need to do it for the piezo pin because we are going to use a library for piezo pin, and yeah, that's it. And we also don't need to initialize the pins for ultrasonic sensor because the library will do the job for us. Now here another thing, if you see, I am in the setup part, I am writing digital write 6 high. So I am making the pin number 6 high. Pin number 6 means the relay pin. Now this is because now it varies from relay to relay. For few relays, if you make the pin high in the relay, then it will connect the middle pin and middle pin with the disconnected pin. In my case, the right pin I have I have shown you. And for few relays, if you make the pin low, in that case they will connect those two pins. Okay, so it varies from relays to relay. Okay, now in my case, in my relay, what happens, if I make the pin high, in that case it will disconnect those two pins, the middle pin and the right pin. And if I make this thing low, in that case it will connect those two pins, the middle pin and the right pin. Okay, so that's why initially the pump should be off. Okay, that's why I have made this pin high, so it will turn that pump off. So from the very beginning the pump will be off, and whenever we will need it, then we will turn it on by making this pin number 6 low. Okay, so I hope you know how relay works. In that case you will easily understand this. Now finally we are giving it a delay of 2000 milliseconds, which is 2 seconds. Now this is because whenever we will turn on our sanitizer for 2 seconds, it will wait. For first 2 seconds it will not work, after that it will start working. Okay, now obviously you can delete this line if you don't want this thing. Finally the loop. So here what we are doing is, so we are reading the port 1 value, so potentiometer 1 value in pump delay. Now pump delay means that the delay for how much time the pump will pump out the sanitizer. So depending on that amount, the amount of sanitizer you will get. Okay, so we will reading the value now. Like I said, the value will be between 0 to 1023. Okay, so basically here in the pump delay we will get a value from 0 to 1023. Now here 0 means 0 so here what we are doing is, if the value is 0, so anyways if the potentiometer is not working, or if you have set the potentiometer to 0, in that case the pump delay will be automatically set to 300. Okay, why? Because it is the default one, it is the default delay. And if there is some available value in the port 1, in that case that will be the pump delay. Okay, so remember in the pump delay we have a value between 0 to 1023. Same for the t distance. T distance stands for threshold distance. It is to set the distance between your hand and the sensor. Now here we are also reading the value, and again if the t distance is 0, in that case we will set it to 8. Now here 8 stands for 8 semi. Okay, I mean in future when we will use it, it will stand for semi. So if you have set that potentiometer to 0, the default value will be 8 semi. Okay, except that we will set the t distance as t distance by 100. Okay, now 100 means that it will divide by 100. So the t distance is initially from 0 to 1023. Now after dividing it by 100, we will get 0 to around 10. Okay, so the range of this t distance will be 0 to 10. Now by changing this calculation, you can change the range. Okay, that's up to you. So these values are suitable for my purpose. For your purpose, you may change these things. Now finally we are reading the ultrasonic value from the ultrasonic sensor, and if the distance is less than the t distance which we have set previously, then our pump will be turned on and all the other things will turn on. So what will happen, at first the pump will turn on. Now for that we will make the pin number 6 low. After that the LED will turn on, so we have made the pin number 7 high. Then the buzzer will beep. For that we have used this tone library, so not this tone method. So in tone we have passed pin number 8, because pin number 8 is the piezo pin. So you can also write piezo pin here. I have written pin number 8, but you can write that. And there are these two values. Now this is just to make a beep sound. Okay, and then finally we are giving a delay. So these two things will only happen for this amount of time. Okay, so the pump will be turned on and the LED will be turned on, then it will wait for this amount of time, and then the pump will be turned off and the LED will be turned off. Now this amount of time is equal to the pump delay into 2. Now remember that pump delay is from 0 to 1023, which stands for, let's say if you talk about millisecond, it's from 0 to 1023 millisecond. That means 0 to 1 second. Now I am just making it into 2 because in my case I need little bit more time, so I have made it into 2 just to increase the delay. In your case, it may be just the pump delay, or maybe into 3, into 4, whatever you want. You just check at which value you are getting good results, that use that. Okay. And finally, we are giving it a 2 seconds of delay. This is because, like, after someone will take the sanitizer, this device will wait for 2 seconds, and after that only another person can take the sanitizer. This is just to stop the waste of sanitizer. Okay, but again, these things you can delete. So this is how the code looks like. Okay, so again, you can change, modify it as your need. And so now let's upload this code, and let's see how it looks like at the end. Okay guys, so this is all about this video. I hope you like this project. Now again, this project you can modify it according to your needs. Now there are, if you have any problem regarding this video, maybe you don't know any of the concepts, let me know in the comment section. In that case, I'll help you, or maybe we'll make a video on that particular part. Okay. And also in future, many new projects are coming, so stay tuned with us, and subscribe to our channel. And also, if you like this video, then hit the like button. So thank you guys, see you in the next video.